Welcome back. I'm Ted Thomas, and on this video, we're going to answer the question, how do you buy a tax lien property in Texas? So I'll explain that on the video, but I'll do a few other things too. First of all, we'll talk a little bit about some steps to make money. I know you want to do that. And we'll also talk about a few mistakes that I want you to avoid. So I'll be right back. Okay, so the question I'm answering today is, how do you buy a tax lien property in Texas? Well, folks, you don't buy any tax liens in Texas. In Texas, the legislature passed the law and it says, we're going to sell tax deeds, and it's a redeemable tax deed. So what the heck is that? Well, we learned that a tax lien simply is someone didn't pay their tax and they issue a piece of paper, that's a tax lien. But a tax deed means that the local government, if you don't pay the tax, they're going to foreclose on that property. They're going to take the property, confiscate, seize the property, and then they're going to resell it at auction. Now, Texas takes it another step. The next step is they sell a tax deed, but it's redeemable. That simply means the property owner can come back, pay you whatever you paid, plus 25%, and they get their property back. So Texas is a very popular state. Why? Because you can make 25% on your money in a 180-day period. So 25% in 180 days is one chunk of money. So if they come in 10 days, you get 25%. If they come in 179 days, 25%. But in 181 days, you own the property. So let's go through this and learn a little bit about it. So tax deeds, tax liens, this is a business that everybody wants to do, but it's going to take a little study. Now, do you have to study for 6 weeks? No, 3 or 4 weeks. You could learn this business. If you want to become an expert, you could easily become an expert in 1 year. Do people make a lot of money? Well, if they don't come in and redeem the deed, you're not only going to make your 25%, you're probably going to make 50 or 100% on that property. Now, is it unusual? No. There's going to be 250 auctions in Texas every month. At least that's how many are authorized. Texas has 254 counties, and they're all authorized to have an auction. So I talked about Harris County. You could decide to go over to Dallas County or go down and go to Bexar County, right, which is right next to it, to San Antonio. But the point is, there's plenty of auctions to go to, 250 of them every single month. So you know on the first Tuesday of the month, you could go to Texas and you could be buying yourself a deed that would make you a lot of money because it's redeemable, make 25%, or you could end up with the property. So what you need to really know about this whole business is 98% of all the people will come in and pay their taxes. So what a nice deal that is for you. So you invest your money, you know you're going to make a nice profit, whether it's on tax lien certificate or on a tax deed. Now, anybody can buy one of these. They're going to have some for $1,000 or $2,000. They're going to have some that are going to cost $50,000 and $100,000. So it doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum. If you want to make money and you're an investor, this is the perfect business for you. Just take you 3 or 4 weeks to learn it, become an expert in a year, but you can buy properties your first year and make $25,000, $50,000, and $100,000. Now, these sound like big numbers, but they're true numbers, but you don't want to be doing it teach yourself how to do it. If you want to teach yourself, it's going to take you about 2 years to learn all the nuances. On these videos, we're going to teach you a lot, but the videos are only 8 or 10 minutes. Can I teach you everything I know in 8 or 10 minutes? I don't think so. So I've been doing this for about 30 years. I got myself to the expert and authority status by doing it. And I started as an investor just like you want to do. Then I became a teacher, and I still do it. I'm still an investor, so I'm a practitioner. So I'm not going to tell you a big BS story of how you're going to make money. I'll tell you, if you do that, you're going to get your butt kicked. And I don't mind telling you that because I'll save you a lot, and you'll be happy that you learned that. But it's not going to all get to you in a couple of weeks, so you need to subscribe to a lot of videos. All right, where are you going to make 25% on your money? You're not going to make it anywhere, at least that it's legal. But you can in Texas. If you buy a tax deed, know it's redeemable, and people can come in and pay you. Now, how big are they? Some of these tax deeds are $100,000. Some of them are $50,000. But if you're just getting started, start out at $3,000 or $4,000. Buy whatever you can buy. Watch it either redeem or get paid. You can always go back to another auction. There's another auction every month. So they will sell thousands of properties this year in the state of Texas. Now, the best way to do this is learn how from someone that knows how to do it. So I have coaches that help me. All of my coaches are 60 years old or over. And so I've got 4 coaches. And those 4 coaches have purchased and resold over 200 tax defaulted properties. I said 200. No other group in the world has done 200. These are 4 individuals that work for me for the past 10 years. And they can teach you every step of the way. We can teach you in California, we can teach you in New York and Florida, Texas. Doesn't matter where you are. Now, how big do you want to go? It's going to be up to you. If you want to go on a regular basis with us and do classes every week, you certainly can do that. If you just want to go once in a while, you can do that too. But let's talk about money. Where are you going to make this kind of money? Whenever the government doesn't get paid, they do something about it. So it's not going to matter what state I talk about. So I started out talking about Texas, but if you want to talk about Washington, you want to talk about Oregon, all of those states are tax deed states. And what they will do is they will auction properties when the people haven't paid the tax. So it doesn't matter whether it's an apple orchard out in the middle of Washington or whether it's a city property in Portland, Oregon. It's not going to matter. Those people will pay the tax. The government's always going to get paid. So a little bit more than half of the states sell tax deeds. That simply means they have confiscated the property, they've seized it, they have more than likely thrown the people out of the property. They're in the process of reselling. Why do they want to resell? Because they want the tax money. They need the tax money. Now, the other states that sell tax lien certificates, they're very benevolent. They're not trying to kick the people out. They're very nice to them. They give them 1 or 2 years to get their taxes paid. So you can do either one. So if you want to earn small amounts of money like you could in Arizona or whether you're in Alabama or Mississippi, you can earn money on tax lien certificate. Safe, secure investment. Start $1,000, do as much as you want. If you want to make the big money, you want to look at the counties that are big. Later on, when I tell you about places like Los Angeles, you'll just go into shock. But Texas is a good place to do this. 180 days, minimum payment, 25%. So you're kind of getting what I'm talking about here. Is Texas my favorite state? Folks, they're all your favorite. Let me tell you why. Texas will give you a huge return. I mean a huge, 25%. Now, I've had people going to auction in Harris County, that's Houston. They go to the auction, they buy a certificate, they get paid off the next day, they make 25%. Where are you going to do that? Well, in Georgia, you could make 20%, but you're getting the idea. So those states are called penalty states. But there's so much abundance, I'm looking for the deal, okay? Now, if you'll stay as a subscriber, when I get to talking about Los Angeles, you'll go into shock. They'll have 2,500 properties in Los Angeles that will come up for auction, and there's no way, even if you can snap your fingers as fast as that they can sell 2,500 properties in a day. And then I'll tell you what happens at the second auction in Los Angeles, which might be the next day. So no, Texas is not my favorite, but I'll tell you the ones that are. The beauty of this business is you can do it all online if you want, and even if you don't do it online, you're not going to do business with property owners. What you're going to do business with is your local county. These are sold at the county level. Now, there are exceptions like in Georgia where they allow the people to talk back and forth if they want to. But generally speaking, what happens with tax liens and tax deeds, the county either is selling you a certificate of paper called a tax lien, or they're selling you the deed to the property. So you're doing business with the government and you're not going to have to talk to them. You can buy them online. They come from lists and you just have to learn how to check them out. So you don't have to do business with the homeowner, so you don't have to worry about being embarrassed about it. But let me kind of switch gears a little and tell you a little bit about what's going to happen if you don't do things right. Newcomers make big mistakes. Here's the 2 big mistakes that you want to avoid. Avoid mistake number 1, and that is don't just buy online. Make sure someone has looked at the property. We can teach you online. We'll do that. I have clients in Europe doing it. I have clients in the Pacific doing it. They're able to do it online, but they always have someone check the property. So you're going to have someone look at the property. Big mistake not to look. If it's next to an oil refinery, don't plan on selling it. People don't want those kind of properties. Second big mistake is think about what I'm going to say now. Don't get in a bidding war. Know what the property's worth and what it's going to sell for. How will you do that? Well, you're going to have an exit strategy. If you don't figure out an exit strategy before you start, you're going to get your butt kicked. I can tell you that right now. Because you'll keep bidding because you want to win. You're aggressive. You're assertive. You want to win. Forget about winning. The low bidder is the one that comes out of the auction making the most money. So what you want to do is know what you're going to sell it for. If you know what you're going to sell it for, you won't bid too high. Okay, so I have a 1-hour video for you guys that are just getting started, and gals, if you want to do this, let's call it a quick start video for now. But it tells you a little bit about tax liens, a little bit about tax deeds, kind of give you some in-depth knowledge. If you'd like to have that, just go, as I point down, just go right down there and you can subscribe to that video. It's absolutely free. I'll see you on the next episode.